Well, hello, and welcome to the Friday night update. I'm here with Gow. How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing fine, eager to do the patch notes discussion and the gameplay.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
you doing?
I'm all right. I'm
Good.
feeling super tired tonight, I'm afraid. Um, didn't sleep very well last night. Up early, long day. So,
Yeah,
and
I know the drill.
still recovering from COVID. So, like, once my energy levels drop, I have to go to sleep.
Yes.
So, um, and I haven't had any supper. So at some point, I'm gonna grab myself something to eat.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. We are talking this week, week 48 update. New thrown spears and knives plus 2 new crossbows. Throwing spears and throwing knives can now be crafted along with 2 new repeating crossbows. So that's good.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I like the image at the top with the crossbow.
Yeah,
That looks really cool.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if that's drawn by the same dude that did our favorite piece.
I don't know.
Alrighty. Would you be so good as to take us through the first part?
Sure.
Thank
This
you.
week we have added throwing variants of the knife and spear into the weapon pool, providing a specialized option with stacking capabilities, while changing the standard versions to melee only. This will make it easier to use these weapons as projectile alternatives to other strategies and stop you from accidentally misclicking and losing them in the wrong situation. Hey Foggy! So we've also added two new crossbows, Platinum one at tier 3 and a Titanium one at tier 4 to provide alternatives to firearms at higher levels. And finally we talk about our decision to not provide workshop variants of the throwing knife and spear, and how this will change as we move towards decentralization in the near future.
That looks like
The Black Wolf knife,
yeah.
by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is, isn't it?
I've never made one.
Yes, we did. We had to do it for one mission.
Okay, I've made one.
Exactly.
Or actually, chances are I've probably made two because I would have made some for somebody else.
One for you, one for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that gives the bleeding wound.
Yeah.
And we tested it, and yes, it's indeed a bleeding wound. The more you move whilst having a bleeding wound, the more severe it becomes.
That actually might be an idea for the scorpion bosses that we couldn't finish last night despite the title.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah.
Give him some bleed debuff. See if that helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So, thrown weapons item separation. We have separated knives and spears into their own variants. You will now be able to craft thrown versions, which can't be used in melee situations or to skin carcasses, but can be stacked in multiples of 50 for knives and 20 for spears.
Ooh.
Early game you could throw your spear, but they didn't stack, so yeah, it wasn't really that useful. Like you had an entire inventory full of spears if you wanted to throw them. At least now they stack. The same with knives.
Yeah.
The special throwing spears and special throwing knives only suited for throwing.
Cool. So you're not going to mistakenly throw them away.
The normal ones, no, indeed.
Good.
The thrown variant recipes are unlocked together with a melee variant. So unlocking one on the tech tree also allows crafting both variants. The recipes do have unique icons and names, so it's easy to distinguish between them. Yeah, if you want to craft a knife for skinning and you accidentally craft 5 throwing knives, or the other way around. So yeah, they're different, located different in the crafting menu. They have different icon. Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well,
there
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. So the melee versions are no longer able to be thrown, and they also won't receive the stack option that their thrown counterparts do. They will, however, still be able to skin creatures, so are still important to have on hunting expeditions.
Yeah.
So indeed, no longer accidentally throwing your knife, or
Yeah.
especially
good.
when you have like the higher tier knives. You accidentally throw your platinum or your titanium knife, and then oops,
Yeah.
that's no longer gonna happen.
Good.
I tried
Al-
it, and indeed you can't throw them.
yeah. Although I do have to say that after having thrown half a dozen decent knives away and so on and so forth, not only did I rebind my key for throwing them, but I stopped
Uh,
throwing them altogether, so I have no experience with
well,
throwing them.
the key is the drop, not the throw. The throw is the right mouse button action thingy.
Not for me. I rebound it so that
Okay.
I wouldn't hit it accidentally.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times, accidentally throwing a knife.
Yeah,
Yeah, they can no longer be thrown. I tried, and no, you can't. I tried with some of the knives I had on me, and no, you can't throw them anymore.
good,
There
good.
are multiple reasons we've made this change, with a key one being irritation caused by people accidentally throwing their weapons with a misclick, or being unable to stack them and having to scroll through the hotbar in combat situations. Indeed, the accidental throw and the fact that
Oh
if you
man,
want to throw them, they don't stack.
yeah,
So they listened to the community, they made these changes, and I like those changes.
yeah, me too. They sound really good.
This also addresses a balance issue with knives using durability when skinning carcasses, particularly as we add a stacking element which would amplify this issue and make managing your gear more complicated. So yeah, then if you can do both melee and throwing with the same knife, you have a stack of 50. You skin with that stack. All items in the stack get a durability loss. So you would need to separate one out in a different hotbar slots, which you use for skinning, and the others for throw-in. So yeah, they were like, you know what, we just make two variants.
Yeah, that's simpler
Yeah. This
for
also
sure.
adds a new dynamic to combat, allowing you to throw knives and spears with more ease, making it a viable mechanic. There will be some more info during the changelog, I think, or during the
Okay.
fixes. Yeah, during the changelog about the throwing mechanism. But I tested it. You can throw your knives pretty darn quick. Throwing spears is a bit slower.
Mhm.
Um, it's press and hold right mouse button to like pull back the spear, and then releasing it to throw the spear. The
Yeah.
longer you keep the mouse button clicked, the more power your spear will have. So less drop off,
Mhm.
more damage, but also slower throwing. So it's if you're into throwing stuff, something you have to find your own balance. Like how quickly do I want to throw them, but then they don't get as far. They do less damage. So yeah, this is a balance you have to find for yourself. The same goes for knives. Rapid throwing knives means you don't throw them as hard, as fast. So more drop off and less damage.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
I haven't done extensive testing. I've done some quick testing. And yeah, that's indeed how it works.
Alrighty. That's
And
pretty
you'll
cool.
see here a very nice crossbow, titanium one from the looks of it.
Yeah, I was just going to say that looks almost like a recurve crossbow.
Yeah, it's looking very nice, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that arrow looks a bit deadly.
Yeah, I'd rather be on the sending end than on the receiving end of such an arrow.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. And just in case you didn't hear me, Froggy, I did actually say hello, but I didn't know whether or not my mic was muted at that point. So welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you.
It was muted at that point.
Okay. Hi, Froggy. Good to see you. Alrighty. Tier 3 and Tier 4 crossbows.
Yeah, they have their own blueprints, which you have to unlock, obviously.
Cool. Two new crossbows have been added at Tier 3 and Tier 4, providing more alternatives to firearms at the higher tiers. Tier 3 is the Platinum crossbow, and Tier 4 is the Titanium crossbow. Both crossbows also share the valuable benefit of being repeating crossbows, able to fire up to 5 bolts in a single burst. In intense situations, this provides considerable damage for players with a steady hand and good hit scanning techniques. They also come with the intrinsic stats of the other crossbows, a chance to slow on hit, and extra damage when piercing the hardened spots on creatures.
Yeah, the up to 5 bolts, the tier 3, the platinum one, has a magazine, so to say, of 4 bolts. The tier 4 one, the platinum one, has a magazine of 6. It doesn't fire in one single burst, as in it doesn't fire all those arrows at the same time. But it's a repeating crossbow. You pull the trigger, it fires the arrow. You release the trigger, it automatically loads very quickly, a new bolt, and you pull the trigger. So basically, like your hunter rifle,
Yeah,
you
so
click,
it's
click, 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 click to shoot.
it's almost it's a semi-automatic crossbow then.
Yeah.
Cool.
It makes crossbows more viable, that's for sure.
Yeah, they're so slow on the reload that
Yeah.
I don't use them because they're too slow to reload. But yeah, they've just become an option now.
Yeah. The rate of
Mm,
fire, like I said, is comparable with a hunter rifle. So
good.
yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So,
These fill a gap we had in the game for the higher tier projectile weapons and will now prove useful for some upcoming creatures we plan to bring into the game. The Tier 3 Platinum crossbow is crafted at the machining bench and will require platinum alongside the standard epoxy, leather, and wood. The Tier 4 Titanium crossbow is crafted at the fabricator and, like the Platinum crossbow, will require the standard resources but paired with titanium. The Platinum crossbow does sit at the higher end of Tier 3 items and as a result has a higher cost. Titanium crossbow will line up closely with the firearms of Tier 4, but cost half the titanium ingot investment, making it a viable alternative for the harder missions and combat scenarios.
uh, 20 titanium ingots for the crossbow versus 40 for the hunting rifle. The platinum crossbow is 20 platinum ingots. And some
Okay.
other stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
So one of the disadvantages still for the crossbow, in my opinion, is the ammo cost. They use metal bolts, iron, copper, steel, platinum, titanium. Uh, so yeah, it's expensive ammo wise, and the projectiles, those bolts all have well, the platinum and titanium bolts have 10% break chance. The iron, copper, and steel bolts have a 20% break chance.
Right. Okay.
Compared with the flint arrow, which has 30% projectile break chance, is 1 iron ore. An iron bolt is 2 ingots, so 4 iron ore.
Mhm.
So 4 flint arrows versus 1 iron bolt. But the break chance of the flint arrow is only marginally higher than the iron bolt, 20 versus 30%. So yeah, the ammo is expensive.
Yeah, that's the
Cop-
downside.
yeah, copper bolts is one copper ingot, but then again, if you go for higher tier stuff, you need copper for the electronics as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Platinum and titanium bolts, they cost an ingot each. You craft a single bolt with one ingot. So expensive.
Yeah.
The crossbow itself is half the price titanium wise than the hunting rifle. I did test it on a couple of polar bears. The hunting rifle does quite a bit more damage. Then again, I was shooting platinum bolts,
Hmm.
104 to 110 projectile damage. But the rifle rounds do 300 projectile damage, so 3 times as much.
Yeah, well, you would expect a rifle to do more damage than a crossbow.
Yep. But so if you need like 5 bullets to put down a polar bear, it means 15 arrows,
Yeah.
15 platinum bolts with 10% break chance each. So on average you'll lose then 2 out of 10, 1.5, so say 2.
Hmm.
Eh,
Mm.
don't get me wrong, they're very nice, these new crossbows, and definitely in open world I'm gonna use them. But in a situation where we have to go for where we would normally go for a hunting rifle because the stuff we have to hunt is very dangerous and we need a lot of firepower.
Hmm.
I think I'm still gonna go with a hunting rifle, purely because the additional damage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that makes total sense.
But yeah, if you compare the platinum crossbow to tier 3 with the bolt action rifle tier 3, then it's gonna be different equation. Um, don't forget the crossbows give you a lot of the same buffs as a normal bow speed-wise, for example. Run with a crossbow out, you're as fast as with a bow, where
Yeah.
we both have our character spec into more speed with a bow out. So if
Hmm.
you run with a gun out, be it bolt action, be it hunter rifle or shotgun, in dangerous environments, you're slower with the gun. You're still fast with a crossbow. So platinum crossbow might actually become a nice, viable alternative for shotgun work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us. What have you been up to today? You all right? Yeah, we have a nice image there of somebody carrying a spear in a storm in the desert. Sandstorm by the look of it.
It's a desert, so yeah, it's gonna be a sandstorm.
Yeah. All right. Will you take us through
Right,
the workshop stacking problem, please?
alrighty, no problem. So
Thank
the
you.
new stacking ability with the throwing versions of the knives and spears will not be applied to workshop versions, and we want to explain why. Sorry. In our current backend system, many dynamic traits are lost when bringing items back to the workshop. This was an early concession made to prevent the amount of space a workshop item uses in the backend. The most notable of these dynamic traits is stack count. Therefore, we had to work around this by not allowing workshop items to stack, and came up with a solution of bundles which players could take down to the planet and bring back up if they want to. But once consumed on the planet, the arrow bundles, they are no longer able to be returned to space. There are a few effects of this decision, including the inability to stack workshop items, and limitations on being able to track the durability of items that are taken back from the planet. It also means that many forms of item persistence were unable to be explored. This is something that will change with data decentralization, as the removal of backend server opens up a wide variety of options to save other data and allows us to investigate more persistence between sessions. This will be most noticeable in consumables and projectiles, but also across armor and weapons and mounts, with the ability of checking many dynamic properties across multiple drops. We are very close to releasing a public branch of the data decentralization Icarus client, the client, for community testing. So if you're interested, join the Discord to be one of the first to jump in. And I've seen communications in Discord, and it looks like the server version is about ready, and they are indeed very close to bring out a client for testing.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
wonder if we'll be allowed to stream such testing.
and maybe something we can discuss offline.
Yeah.
But
Mike
yeah,
says, "I'm good, thanks. Pipes have been insulated from the snow coming. Still in an Still in another move to the second house on the property. My own PC is still not up, just busy altogether." Well, yes, sounds like you've been busy.
PC
Wow.
not up yet. Come on, that's like the first thing that you do when you move, right?
Yeah.
Set up your PC.
Well, actually, I have to be honest and say when I moved into my house here, the first thing I set up was the table, and the second thing I set up was the PC. Because
Nah,
I had to have the table, put my monitors on.
exactly. My first thing was the desk and then the PC.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Anyway, so they're also talking here now. Okay, so it's the time where everything, like now and before, everything is being processed on Rocketworks backend servers. So they are limited in the total traffic they can handle from all the players and total data they can store and stuff. So yeah, they came up with. Then they had to work with some limitations. Do you recall back in the day workshop items which took damage on the planet you took up you had to repair?
yes.
So now nowadays when you go back up it auto repairs. It does not keep the durability info. So it's basically auto repair. Uh,
Hmm.
with data decentralization, they might reintroduce this mechanic again, where you have to like repair your workshop items. It always has been for free. Maybe it'll stay for free. Maybe you'll have to spend some currency to repair your stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Uh, but another thing of this data saving strategy is, like they say here, uh, they can't handle all the data for item persistence between sessions, between drops. Hence, every time you drop down, you have to like start all over again. The whole mount persist between drops thing uh, probably gonna come with the data decentralization.
yeah, yeah, that would make sense.
Oh yeah. Max, yeah, as soon as we moved here, it was decided we switch house with my son, so the move never. Okay, so you go from one move to the other one. Yeah. You joined the public branch? Oh, that's test branch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it as well. It does mean switching back and forth. Also, do keep in mind, test branch is not risk free. You might lose an item or two during the tests.
Yeah. The
I've seen people complain like, "Hey, I'm on the test branch, but I lost an item, a workshop item. I took back to the took down to the planet, and when I came back up, it was gone." And then the response basically is, "Look at the pinned post. It does say it's not risk free. It's at your own risk. Still, I have the currency to be able to replace lost items. And if I don't have the currency, they would just play extra missions to
yeah.
get a currency. I'd be willing to test. I'd be willing to take that risk.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got so many items in my inventory. I don't really
Yeah,
think I'd notice if something was missing.
exactly.
Oh dear. And the other thing is if memory serves, as Mike is saying, well, Mike says he used to be an alpha beta tester for all the MMOs in the late 90s and early 20s. I know the routine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the other thing is that it was mentioned when we were doing beta testing. Um, for the Styx maps that uh, if you constantly switch between one and the other, you risk file corruption.
yeah,
So that's another warning to be mindful of.
yeah. I know of people who have multiple machines, one for the normal play and one machine they use for the test.
Yeah.
So you don't have to switch back and forth, you just switch between PCs.
Yeah, not all of us are lucky enough to have multiple PCs, though.
Uh, Run a VM, play from within a VM.
Yeah, I've never done that. Alrighty, so we're looking now at new content,
Yeah.
which is
So most
basically
of it,
just
basically, yeah.
yeah, summing up what we've just been through. Um,
Mike says file corruption, Windows not booting, driver installs. Been there.
yeah,
Same here, man. Been there, done that. Had to fix it. Curse at it.
yeah,
Almost thrown it out of the window. At the last moment, decided to okay, let's give it another try. Finally managed to fix for 3 whole days.
yeah, yeah. Been there, done that. Worn the T-shirt. Writing the book tomorrow.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much the new content covered. Although there is quite
Yep.
a lot of it. Good
Uh,
grief. Yeah, yeah. It's just what we've already covered.
yeah, basically, indeed. About everything is about these new crossbows and the throwable versus melee versions of knives and spears.
Yeah. So let's move try again. Let's
Okay,
move
try again.
swiftly on to the fixed items.
Alrighty. Oh, by the way, the second from the bottom of the fixes. That's why the option, the thing I mentioned before about the throwing of the spears, charging. Sorry, the second from below for the new content.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, allowed thrown spears to be charged for longer, providing slightly more power than before, but lowering power at lower charges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And two above there, slightly reduce the delay between throwing a knife and starting your next throw, and added the same delay to thrown spears. Previously no delay. So you basically, like a machine gun, you were throwing the stuff.
Yeah.
There's a short delay. And like I said, the delay for the knives is shorter than for spears.
Good.
Right, fixes.
Well, before we do that, Mike says I've
Yeah.
been building PCs and doing tech for gaming for 30 years at least. I have stories. Well, we'd love to hear
Yep.
them. Been a long while since I played
Played Icarus.
Icarus. Now I think it might be time to get back. Oh, absolutely. Well,
Definitely more than time, man.
yeah, you got to do your PC first, dude. Can't play it without a PC.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Thanks for your support. How are you doing today?
Yeah,
Alrighty.
like I've been working in IT for well, like 25 years or so. I have my stories as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can't get
Anyway,
my computer to work. Is it plugged in and switched on?
yep.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about back in the days when we had the old CRT screens. My screen
Yeah.
ain't working. Okay, did the cleaning lady clean your desk last night? Maybe. Yeah. Okay, there are those couple of wheels underneath your screen. Turn them all the way to the right. Yeah, okay, see, now your screen is working again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a fixes. Changing the resolution scaling max value from 100 to 200 is a test to see if it's supported. However, the second from the bottom does also state changing the min-max values of resolution scaling setting to match the min-max supported by the engine, which is 33 to 100. So they also tested a max value of 200 to see if it's supported. Doesn't really say whether or not it was supported though.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway,
Okay. Add custom view distance settings for various world objects, enzyme geyser, meta deposits, or deposits dropships.
custom view distance settings. Is this in settings? And then it will be display. Do I see any new? I don't see any settings which pop out to me like, hey, this is new. Like draw them at a further distance than the rest of the items.
Mm,
Don't really see that.
okay.
That is you, Mike. You're not the only one. Spent 20 minutes one time trying to get a lady to reboot. I found when I said turn it off and on, she was just turning off and on her monitor. Yeah. Again, been there, done that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had imaginations there of, when you said to her about turning it off and boot it back up, that she would turn it off and then kick it. Alrighty, we've added support for non-GOAP characters in GOAP debugger cheat.
Yes, the dev cheat thingy.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Fixed level not retrieving from correct source.
Yeah, not sure. what I mean here, so I'd say thank you for the info.
Yep. Reading translation. Oops. Hang on. Reading.
Re-adding translations lost in all
Oh,
languages
re-adding.
in a commit last week where crowding was trampled. Yeah, last week a lot of translations got lost. I saw it in Discord. They fix it now again. So
Good.
yeah,
Good,
good.
good, good. Yeah. Okay. Adding.
Adding new crowding recipe which force pushes all translations to crowding. So hopefully next time with a patch they won't lose the translations again. Jason says a lot of the stuff they talk about sounds like fluff to make them sound busy. Uh, not entirely. I mean, it might not be something we see a direct one-on-one result of, Jason, but I know from experience how complex software can be. I'm not talking about games specifically, but software in general. Very complex, and a little change in one part of the software can have huge impact in other parts. So yeah, even if we don't directly see a one-on-one relation with something in game, does not necessarily mean it's just they're making something up. Plus, when they started with this style of update of patch notes, we were discussing this like it looks like they just make an export of their ticket system. And yeah, everything that gets done has a ticket. It can be something small, it can be something big. For example, a typo. Hey, it's a change, so you need to. It needs to be submitted. Like, hey, there's an issue here. A ticket has to be made. It has to be fixed. And then once the fix is implemented, it'll appear here in the list of fixes. It's something very small. A lot of people won't even notice, especially if it's a typo in a translation. But yeah, it is work they have to do. Like someone has to read a ticket and assign it to an engineer. Engineer has to validate the ticket. Like, is this indeed true? Yes, okay, we have to fix it. Has to be committed. Yeah, it's all work to be done.
Yeah, sounds like it's just going through the process.
Yep. Yeah, Mike says every person works on a different aspect of the fixes. They just want to show them, they mention it to keep them involved and happy. Not a bad thing, it's acknowledgement. If the developers do read this here patch notes, this here, yeah, update patch notes.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
So, the Abyss.
Abyss.
Oh, yeah, that one. I've seen it in Discord. They fix a bug where biomes weren't tracked correctly for research station deployment quest step. Like you deploy it in the forest biome and it starts counting the desert. You deploy
Yeah.
it in the desert, it starts counting the Arctic. Deploy
Yeah.
it in the Arctic, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Abyss research was basically bugged. I'm glad I fixed it, so people can properly do the mission again.
Yeah. Oh, it's always handy when you can actually complete a mission.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abyss research with the abysmal oxide.
Yeah.
The one we did with Carl.
Yeah.
Like running around with a piece of oxide in your pocket. Eating all the time to keep your health up to prevent you from dying.
Yeah, and that's when that's when we found out a cheese for it.
This is not the one put it in a campfire to
Oh,
prevent it
why
from
do
spoiling.
I always do that? I always get those two missions confused.
Yep.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
this was one indeed where you had to carry extra with you to bring to the thing, because you'll lose some on the way, something to that
Yeah.
extent. But
Yeah.
yeah, you remember why you had to come out and bring me more food because I was on the brink of dying because
Yeah.
I was carrying the abysmal oxide all the time
Yeah.
to get research done. Oh yeah, man, I
Yeah.
ate a lot of food.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have to have a
I almost couldn't.
lot of
Yeah,
food.
I almost couldn't fit in my drop pod anymore. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
Yeah, you
see. They
put on
add
so
an
much you put on so much weight whilst getting from point A to point B whilst carrying a toxic stuff.
Yep.
Uh,
Let's see.
uh,
They added advanced mode to get actor count widgets to pull any class type. Okay, thank you.
alrighty. Cheers. Yeah, exactly. Fix the typo in healing boost module description.
Can't
Does
say
that
I've noticed it.
even work now?
I don't know. We might have to test it again. We might have to test it out again.
Because because if you
Is
remember, I
the
got the world boss module and it only worked for me.
actually I have the world boss module as well,
And then we tried out the healing module and it didn't bloody work.
and there is the other one, player tracker module.
That's it. Yeah.
Doesn't work. The animal health bar module does work. There is another one. Where is it? I should have it somewhere in my workshop, I think. Or did it at some point disappear? No, it was the green one. It was a different color one. Uh, the player next to you can then carry more stuff.
Yes. Yes. I remember that one.
Let me quickly check the workshop.
Because
It should
I
be
think
easy to find over there.
you two
The
members of
strength
our
boost
group.
module.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, nearby
Because
allies have their carrying capacity increased. Didn't work either.
no.
Healing boost module didn't work either. The nearby allies have quicker healing from bacterial infections, parasitic infections, poisons, and physical trauma.
Hmm.
It didn't really work, so we might have to retest it again. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to test that again because that was such a waste of money. Such a waste.
Well, it
I
wasn't
mean,
really that much money. It was
no,
like
but I
100
mean, it
exotics and
was
250 rent to craft,
yeah,
to
but
research and crafts.
that's expensive for something that doesn't bloody work.
It's expensive if you don't have the currency to throw around. True.
Well, yes, but when we bought them, we didn't have money to throw around. You know,
We had enough to buy it for test.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's still an expensive fuck up.
True. It's not really useful, indeed.
You know, so I mean, it's the healing module. Ugh, it's just sat in my inventory ever since I bought it. After that,
Yeah, Mike says, didn't a lot of those things relate to a difference between the host and the others on the server, so the clients? Uh, Not really.
well, the
Cause
world,
we tested it both, like one carrying using the module or the other person using the module. The animal boss tracker thingy is only for the person who is actually using the thing.
yes, but then when we swapped over between you and I, when you had it, because you're host, you could see them, and then when I tried it, I couldn't see them.
But you couldn't see them.
No. So it
Then
worked for
that is
you and not
a host
not for
client
me.
thing then.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have to test those again
Uh,
at some point.
Shouldn't be too hard. I mean, open world does have world bosses, so.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, it
you
would
took
kind
off
of
by
make
dropship
sense.
last time, so you should be able to drop down with modules.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Okay.
resolve data table errors with Shemi variant. Shemi variant for what? I don't know.
Hmm. I would say thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're gonna have to look out for something.
Yep. Not sure what we have to look out for still, but hey.
Something to do with chamois, but we'll find out. I've no doubt.
Exactly. Anyway, let's see. Fix a typo in the neat and tidy talent. Fertilized alteration. Yeah, I don't have the talent anyway, so I didn't even know there was a typo in it. Or the
And
alteration added because of this talent.
yeah, no, I didn't.
Like the fertilized alteration on the crop plots because you have the neat and tidy talent. Apparently there was a typo in there.
Okay, well, I didn't know there was a
I had no
typo.
idea.
Nope, no idea. Shows you how often I look at it.
Yep. So the next one we already talked about. Kind of well, not sure which resolution scaling settings they are talking about here, by the way. This is like if you play windowed.
Sorry, what? I
If
was
you're
reading
playing
Mike's
windowed instead
comments
of
there.
full screen, the resolution scaling, or if you have your desktop resolution set to X%, because you I don't know, you don't want to wear glasses, so you make everything bigger, or you have to do it because even with glasses you can't see it otherwise. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks very much. Uh, Mike is saying, so the algorithm didn't add multiples in its working of the single apparatus. And then he says, I need another shot.
Careful for your shirt, man. Yeah, I haven't forgotten about that one.
Yeah.
Optimize your loading screen images, change the format to POW prisoner of war. 2. Removed unused DT. Right, thanks.
Good to know.
Yep,
Not that I know what it means, but it's good to know.
exactly. And then we get to the future content. There's a whole list there.
Yeah.
I did go quickly through them. Scoria. What the heck is Scoria? Do you know?
No. Adding scoria, potatoes, and tomato item meshes to demeshable data table.
Yeah, but it must be some building material, cause like 4 bullet points down. Updating setup for Scoria, Obsidian, and Clay reward nodes so they provide the correct resource. And I'm
Ooh.
like, what the heck is Scoria? Or is this some new alien metal now? Oh wait, this is the volcanic stone stuff. The very light stone.
Pumice.
Pyro Pyroclastic, highly vascular, dark-colored volcanic rock that was ejected from a volcano as a molten blob and cooled in the air to form discrete grains or clasts.
Yeah. We call that pumice stone.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So you will be able to mine scoria as well.
Could be, I don't know, could it be like an alien version of coal?
It's mentioned in the same sentence as obsidian and clay. So I don't know. Then again, oxide and sulfur are two very different substances.
Yeah.
You use oxide to breathe. If you
Yeah.
use sulfur to breathe, you'll stop breathing very quickly.
Yeah. Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe a building material. Maybe I don't know.
Hmm.
It is
Here's
rock. So maybe for some lighter versions of stone. I don't know.
hmm. I don't
So
know.
there goes my talent for stone builder was way less in your inventory.
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. Adding Prometheus Story Mission 5 Basic Flow.
Yep, I saw. What I was more excited about is the one below.
Adding new pre-build outpost base.
Exactly. What's that gonna mean?
I think they're talking about, they said that we would find like
Yeah, but they're
old,
talking about outpost. Well, yeah, outpost base as in a forward operating base outpost, not outpost as in game mode. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that,
Soul's
yeah, I
hideout.
think they're talking about the fact that we can find relics or ruin of buildings that have been before,
Soul's hideout, which was mentioned last week.
and Moe's Cave,
Uh huh.
so
Exactly.
might have something
Scoria
to
says
do with
Mike,
that.
sounds like a city I don't want to visit. Uh, it does ring a bell. I don't know which game anymore though. Scoria. Uh, sounds similar to some. Or am I thinking about Moria from Lord of the Rings?
Yes, yeah, I think you are.
Courts Moria. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
pre-builds would be interesting. Yeah, abandoned posts. Yeah, last week, Mike, there was mention about things like Mo's cave. You know, Mo in the lore videos is the Chinese lady which who stayed behind.
yeah.
They also mentioned Soul's hideout, like pre-built.
hmm
Actually, let me see how they worded it. Creating Soul's hideout pre-built base and adding Soul's communication device. So yeah, creating
yeah,
Soul's hideout pre-built base. So yeah, you run along the planet, and all of a sudden you run into a pre-built base.
yeah.
No idea what state it will be in though, but hey.
Well, it would make sense if it was kind of looking a bit ruined and then you gotta like fix it, like repair it with a hammer kind of thing.
Yeah, and maybe collect some materials from the surroundings to fix it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be a quest item, I don't know. You
hmm
know how in Styx some missions unlock some caves, some passages? Maybe in Prometheus DLC you have a mission where you like unlock Soul's hideout where you have to repair it as a mission objective, and then in subsequent missions you will have this pre-built base. Just thinking out loud here.
hmm
So
Okie dokie. B-Dog table setup. That's the one that I call the bastard dog because I can't think what else. And oh,
a brown dog or black dog.
bollocks dog. Oh dear. Okie dokie. Moving swiftly on. Let's have a look. Oh, improvements and updates to mangrove harvest.
New type of wood. Like you have the normal wood, you have the refined wood. We'll also get mangrove wood. Or is this gonna be like instead of cutting down a normal between quotes tree, you cut down a mangrove and it'll give you the wood?
Possible. Possible.
I don't know.
We're getting a new type of tree though, because there's aspen, aspen,
The aspen has
aspen.
been mentioned for several updates already.
Yeah, there we go with the tomato fruit again.
Aspen seedlings, saplings, and trees. So basically the small, medium, and large. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hollow trunks are being mentioned again.
yeah.
Ponga tree.
The what?
Ponga tree.
Oh yeah, there.
The S-bird is been mentioned again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Added T2
as
mission communication device icon.
tier
There we
2.
go.
So
Yeah.
we'll be able to craft mission communication devices,
Up
and they will come
updated.
in multiple tiers.
Yeah, well, updated item description for new resources, crops, communicators, and devices.
Communicators
Updated
plural, indeed.
name for new exotic resource.
Might
And
be the scoria or the what's the obsidian?
could be.
I don't know.
And updated new communicator names.
There's also some mention here about alien bones. Actually, it is the fifth from the top in the feature content.
One, two, three, four. Oh yes, replacing proxy meshes for alien bones. Ooh.
Yep, we're gonna get some weird looking bones.
Unless they mean it like the mammoth tusk.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah, they
Okay.
are doing a lot of work for Prometheus now, or at least a lot of feature content which has been done. Like we're adding the flow, we're adding the outpost base, set up the new required quest blueprints and mission hazards stuff. So yeah, they're working hard on Prometheus.
Yeah.
Well, we are in November, early November, so they're gonna be a short day if they want to bring it out this year.
Yeah.
Less than 2 months.
Yep.
Still hopeful though.
Um. Yeah, there you go. Created chamois variant base setup as a duplicate of the regular chamois. And resolved data
Yeah.
table errors with the chamois variant. Hmm.
There's enough interesting stuff in here, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that brings us to the end of this update. How's about that, peeps?
It also means it's getting time for a game play.
Yeah, the subsequent gameplay. Um, Mike says tomato is a meat, ha ha ha. Could be like that movie Prometheus. Nah, I'm buzzed, lol. And then asks, what is a base setup chamois?
Then basically the normal chamois, the chamois like we have in Olympus and Styx. Maybe in Prometheus it's gonna be a slightly different variant, hence creating a copy of the basic one.
Yeah, so in essence, you can make a copy of the shell and just give it a new skin.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like copy and paste and then give it a different cover.
It's gonna be easier for them, as in less work.
Yeah,
So yeah, why
oh,
not?
for sure, for sure. So yeah, so we are going to be taking a, oh, 13-minute break. Maybe I can boil a kettle and get myself a pot noodle in the meantime. And we will see you at 11 o'clock.
13 minutes from now.
Yeah, that's, and with the daylight savings time, that now means that GMT is the same as UTC.
UTC. Yep.
So 11 p.m., we will be back for the live gameplay. So we will see you then. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, Jason, Mike, and Froggy. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your support, and we will see you in now 12 minutes. So until then, remember, it's good night from me.
And good night from her.
And remember, peeps, it's a dangerous world out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you soon.